between. I conjured you an apparition to show you what we'd seen. The sun, the earth, the wind, the rain, and holding out for change.
Well, now I need to wait for YouTube to come online. There it is. Hello, everybody. And I realize my tracking is off. Resetting tracking now. There we go. Anyway, today we are going to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by the Foundations. Space! Also, did you like the starting soon screen? I just had to slap that together in the last 10 minutes before going live. Anyway. Let's do this. Yes, I've been standing here this entire time. Back to the Baldestian Annex. Ojika. Ojika is ready to send you off with a smile. I suppose this is where we part ways. For now, at least. Would that I had sage words of wisdom to share ere you depart. Mayhap teachings of God of Baldestian will suffice. Surrender not to anger or hatred, he said. Look beyond them, and there find true strength.
Here we go. What one sees beyond is open to interpretation, I think, but for me it would be the things I cherish most in life. Things I believe are worth fighting for. Something to consider as you venture unto the Sea of Stars. Time to talk to Fortuno. Obviously teleporting to Aporia. There's the group. Oh, I have a lot of dialogue to go through here. First, Alpha. Alpha appears to be trying to cheer you on. And now, let me get the TTS. Generic speaker. Bleep bloop. The miniature model of Omega appears to be staring intently at the Ark. Dang it, there's no dialogue for Omega. Varshan! Man is said to fear what he does not know. Yet you would venture into the greatest of unknowns. I say to you, this line changes depending on the gender of your character. Daughter of man because of the change. Said son of man if the change hadn't occurred. And you need not fear. So long as man shares a bond of dragonkind, so too does he share our kinship with the heavens, and our ancient home amidst the stars infinite. I pray you go forth, and prove this bond of ours. Tempered and tested shall endure unbroken for 1,000 years. Erdvold, first the great Exodus, and now this. Seems there's no end to our work. In truth, more than a few gleaners were distressed to learn that their earlier efforts were for nothing. It was no easy task convincing them that the new plan was for the best. I can tell you that. Ah, yes. I can't tell you every man believes that this is the wisest choice, but I can say that all will be forgiven if you deliver us from the coming doom. And if you don't, well, at least you won't get the earful. I certainly will. The Manolin. It's troubling enough that the brutes second level that warning, leaving me to carry out all those cumbersome containers. But that he failed to send you off is absurd! What could possibly be more deserving of his attention at a time like this? Probably the bottom of a bottle of rum. For today? It's no easy thing to say, leave the star to us. But we must, and we will. As proud members of the Scions, we have a duty to uphold. And we needn't do so alone. Those dark days when we were driven from the rising stones and hunted as traitors are a thing of the past. We have allies in abundance now. Which is to say, you needn't worry about us. Go forth in the knowledge that the Scions will labor without rest in your absence. Though our fellow Scions couldn't be here, they wanted me to tell you that, no matter what calamity may befall us, they will never give up. And neither should you. No matter how far you may go, we will be with you in spirit. No matter how dark it may seem, your light will shine and endure. Nidana, Mistress Krell tells me your investigation into my theories on Akasha and its relation to the final days has made clear the source of our woes. I am elated to know that my work was of some benefit, but I could not have shared it with had you not rescued me from that tower that day. I yet owe you a great debt, one I may never fully repay, but I shall try nonetheless. Not only for my research, but also for my desire to see you succeed, which I believe may influence the Akasha in our favor. Small though the effect may be. Yes, so long as we have hope, there is a chance we may influence the outcome of this calamity. Now for Bloida. We were quite fortunate that Loperitz's hyperhopper was based on the principles similar to those of etherology. Integrating it with the Ark's existing systems may well have been impossible otherwise. We may have had perhaps Charlian's wealth of knowledge at our disposal, but theirs is technology far beyond anything we've ever studied. You're familiar with teleportation magics, yes? The momentary conversion of the body into ether that may travel via the lifestream from one physical point to another. Their hyperhopper enables transport through a similar method, but no one involved in the lifestream. Rather, it utilizes highly condensed ether to create an ethereal current of its own. This current is exponentially faster and more powerful than the naturally occurring ones to which we are accustomed. So much so, in fact, that the ethereal conversion of the physical form is not a prerequisite for traversal. If you are concerned about side effects, such as ethereal sickness, you needn't be. You should emerge at your destination hale and whole. In theory. At the very least, I can assure you it is safer than the experimental etherites you used to reach rods at Han. Wolfson? Breda has been on my mind more often of late. How different her life might have been if not for our research into teleportation magics. Perhaps she would never have gained an interest in etherological studies. To abandon our work out of misplaced guilt for who she could have been would be a disservice to the memory of who she was. Nay, it was because of her that we found the resolve to carry on. And now we stand at the edge of a new frontier. With a ship ready to bear you you unto the distant stars and beyond. This arc is as much her accomplishment as it is ours. I regret nothing. Now for the Scions. Let's start with Graha. So this is the ship that will bear us into Ultima Thule. For so many, to see us off like this seems wholly unnecessary. Still, I'll not begrudge them for wishing as well. Rianje, that even Wilfson and Bluido be in attendance is most unexpected, but I am nonetheless heartened by their presence. Oh, they're just doing one sentence, one line of, one piece of dialogue each. This is the pinnacle of ephorochemistry, a synthesis of modern innovation and the ancient wisdom of Alag. The Ark's engine appears to be capable of processing condensed ether in quantities I've never thought possible. I wasn't expecting quite so many people to be seeing us off. Alfino, let us hear what Father has to say. They said work on the Ark is finished, but you certainly wouldn't know by looking at it. I'll send word to the Alliance leaders the very moment the ship takes off. Obviously they couldn't be there, but I'm sure they'll be cheering you for you every step of the way. Cryle? Quite the turnout, wouldn't you say? Then again, who wouldn't want to be present for a once-in-a-lifetime event? Living Way? The Ark is missing one last, very crucial component before we are ready to take off. It should be arriving shortly. Fortuno, what do you have to say? Oh. There's Omega.
All present and accounted for.
Good.
Good. As you will have heard, the Ark is ready. All that remains is to board and be on your way.
I've seen my fair share of tight schedules, but this was bloody murder.
There we have the Ironworks full.
But we did it. We finished the ship.
We finished the ship.
It's safe, fit for purpose, and looks good to boot. Aye, it's a garland through and through.
I really don't know what we'd do without you. Thank you for everything.
Ah, don't mention it. Ever since that episode with Omega, I've been toying with the idea of starfaring vessels. And as they say, necessity is the mother of invention. We've learned a lot, let me tell you. In case you're wondering about payment, the ongoing existence of the world ought to do. But feel free to throw in a colorful recounting of your journey on your return.
I'll do it.
So, have you thought of a name?
A name? Wasn't everyone just calling it Father's teeny tiny toy boat?
Well, seeing as its purpose has changed, I thought a more eloquent name was in order. I suggested as much to Fortuno, who seemed quite amenable to the idea.
As you know, this vessel is the culmination of heretofore unprecedented collaboration. And though said collaboration is owed to the Scions, there is another whose noble deeds made our work possible. From a fragment of Dalamud, we obtained not only advanced materials such as refined adamantite, but the knowledge to traverse the stars. And this fragment would not have found its way to us had the Archon Louisois not fought to protect this world, and in so doing, laid down his life. Now that the vessel stands complete, I cannot help but wonder if it was more than mere happenstance. If it was my father's intention to guide us here. In the hopes that his guidance will see you all safely home, I name the vessel after that self-same fragment of Dalamud he delivered unto us. The starship Ragnarok.
Sorry for the wait. I got everyone you asked for, and not a one less.
Oh, there's everyone. Take it.
What are you all doing here?
Oh, I invited them. The representatives of those tribes with religious inclinations. You've done a fine job of readying the Ragnarok, but for it to take flight, we'll of course need the power of the Mother Crystal. Given its immense size, however, transporting it would be an absolute logistical nightmare, not to mention we'd need to shatter it into tiny shards for feeding to the engines. But a brilliant idea came to me. We convert the crystal's energy into forms that can transport themselves!
Primals. Rihanna is the second to realize.
Employ summoning, or should I say its precursor, creation magics.
Care to explain for our benefit?
As you may have witnessed at Bestway's Burrow, the Loporits are capable of creation magics, which they use to shape the moon's environment. Yet simple though they make it seem, 'tis a highly advanced and exacting art. To perform it correctly, require it that the wielder holdeth the object in his mind's eye in clearest detail.
Hence the ancients' meticulous management of concepts.
Drawing upon this art, the Ascians conceived of summoning as we know it. A derivative that replaceth the complexity of concepts with the simplicity of zealotry to make manifest a creation.
I see. By combining the Loporits' magics and the tribe's faith, we convert the Mother Crystal into primals of purer form and greater obedience. Summoning as it was intended, one might say.
Indeed! Indeed! While Heidelin gave us the ability to use creation magics, she forbade us from using it to make anything possessed of a soul, or similar. She didn't say anything about fulfilling the desires of others, though. So, borrowing our friend's faith, we'll create deities using the Mother Crystal's power and send them to the Ragnarok!
Am I the only one here concerned about the risk of being turned into a
tempered minion?
Oh, right, I was getting to that. From what I've read in Sharlayan tomes, it appears the Ascians incorporated an additional nasty element into their summoning method. The fervent desire to assimilate others into one's belief. Beings thus created are instilled with the self-same desire and use their powers to enthrall people, starting with the summoner. In contrast, our creation magics, the original and the best, except no substitutes,
Just don't incorporate any of that rubbish.
So there's no risk of tempering. I mean, if the being was on the scale of Zodiac, you might feel a little tug. But I think we'll be safe enough.
Truth be told, I do not understand the intricacies of this plan. But none of us would ever turn our backs on you. When the avatars of our faith ran amok, you intervened without decrying we who birthed them. Where others vilified and suppressed us, you offered understanding and friendship. In gratitude, we will share with you the true expressions of our gods. Not malevolent deities, but benevolent saviors.
Ah, we'll need the fuel then.
Alright, you lot, we're heading to the ethereal sea. Stay in sight, else you're liable to get lost.
Careful, you lot.
Lead the way.
May we have a moment?
Of course.
In anticipation of the day man might journey to the stars, we developed these.
Hmm? Oh.
Portable teleportation devices. One for each of you, designed to work in tandem. Press the button on one, and in a matter of moments, all 8 will activate and send their owners back to the Ragnarok. There is no telling what hazards you may encounter. If you find yourself separated or lost, please do not hesitate to use them.
They are single-use devices.
Be safe, all of you, and come back.
You as well. I pray you take care.
Looks like everything is in order, so I'll go ahead and board. A few of my fellows will remain to assist with the summonings, but rest assured, the vessel won't want for competent crewing.
If you are ready, then you should board as well. Go, and Godspeed.
Did I just hear dun 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 dun? Portia. Emilians will not be joining us, I'm afraid. She cannot bear to watch our children embark on so perilous a mission. Make no mistake, I feel the same. I cannot tell you how many times I had to step away from my duties. So distracted by thoughts of all the ways it could go wrong. Even now, a part of me wants to drag them away and forbid, well, not that they would listen, so I'll see them off with pride in my heart and a prayer on my lips. For my children and for this star they love so dearly, you must prevail. Okay, this line is unchanged, so it's probably the same for the rest. Said, the Ragnarok is a collaborative effort in every sense. The culmination of knowledge of the world's from the world's greatest minds, both past and present. Without question, the greatest ship ever built. I'll have to remember to thank Tataru for her timely provisions of food and drink. Poor Wedge would have long since given up from exhaustion otherwise. But now the rest is up to you. Come back safe, alright? You haven't forgotten anything, have you? No repairs or commissions? A delivery from retainers, perhaps? No? Oh, there's nothing else. Have a safe journey. Words cannot end now. The world cannot end now. Not when we have but scratched the surface of the Loporrit's technological know-how. So run along now and do what it is you vaunted heroes do best. The world shall tremble before my genius soon enough. Assuming you're able to prevent its destruction, that is. Oh, there is new dialogue on the Scion side in that case. So the stage is set. I can but hope we are prepared to play our part when we arrive on Ultima 4. The key, I suspect, may lie with Heidelind's parting message to us. Darkness and light, despair and hope, as goes one, so goes the other. Knowing Meteon wields the power of despair, we must bring to bear hope in equal measure. I am most grateful Wilson and Luida have devised a contingency should the need to flee arise, though I pray it shall not. We must needs strive for victory to the last, that Etheirys and her people will survive, and that her champions return home, without exception. You hear that, Graha? You better return. Primal summoning, as it was intended. I never dared to consider they could be invoked without the danger of tempering. Change has come quickly to the star, and greater change yet awaits in the days to come. All the more reason we must not fail. I'd rather not spend any longer mulling over strategy. None of us are strangers to despair. If that is the source of our power, we are ready for it. Venturing quite literally into the unknown. We have to be ready for everything. As I said before, whatever awaits us there, we will survive. We must. Crowd? Quite a turnout, wouldn't you say? Okay, it's just this lot. Alphino? The Ragnarok. And thus does Grandfather's legacy live on. We mustn't waste any more time. Let us board. Excited for Ultimate Fall. Mother, Father, Grandfather. We will save this star and return home. I promise. If you would come this way, I will direct you to the bridge. Upon boarding the Ragnarok, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. And it doesn't tell you how long. It doesn't tell you how long those cutscenes will be, so let me just check. Yeah, this looks like it's about what... Yeah. Let's do this. Are you prepared to board the Ragnarok? Yes. I'm gonna hide my model during the cutscenes.
I hope you have everything, because I can't be bothered turning back. Right then, make yourselves comfortable. We're setting off in just a moment.
It's incredible.
This is Forshano. Can you hear me? The preparations for the summonings are complete. In accordance with the 14th phase of the plan, we have moved the Ragnarok to the launch site. The gates are open. You may depart when ready.
So, are we ready?
As ready as we'll ever be. Let's get going.
Oh, come on. A burnt-out star's got more fire in its belly. Try it again, with feeling.
I get the line. Engage!
Engage! Engage!
Ifrit. Titan. Leviathan. King Mogulmog the 12th may his palm carry us safely to the end of the universe. Yeah, we have Garuda.
That I must carry landwalkers into the sky. I cannot imagine a greater indignity.
Do not sound so. For thy mighty winds exist not only to buffet and batter.
Susano, let's go.
Nay, they may serve also to thrust forth with vigor. Such is thy glory, and thus it is an occasion to rejoice. So come, let us revel!
There we have. Bismarck.
So long as the wind blows freely, I suppose all is as it should be in creation.
Rejoice.
I will render unto them a storm, that they may pierce the firmament and fly free!
Slave space rupture, dead ahead. Here we are, slip space.
Still in one piece? Good. Sleeping way? Report?
All's well. Fantastic even. Thanks to the power of those primals, the engines are roaring and we're ripping along.
All values are also within projected ranges. Time to destination is 8 carats. Perhaps 7 at a pinch.
Explain.
Alright, let's go over some points of caution. Our destination, as you know, is Ultima Thule. Lest you wonder, the place is not a star so much as a patch of emptiness. That's the extent of what our equipment could determine, anyway. From what we know of Meteon, she's likely used dynamis to obfuscate her location.
So, in conclusion, we'll only know what's there when we get there.
Exactly, Yastola.
The crew and I will see to it the ship's ready to take off at a moment's notice. We'll support the search as best we can, but it'll be your paws on the ground, assuming there is any. But everything will be fine, I'm sure. Heidelin believes in you, so you ought to believe in yourselves. Just don't do anything I wouldn't, like waiting too long to use those portable teleporters of yours. Personally, at the slightest sign of trouble, I'd mash the button to bits, and you should as well.
Understood. We promise to be careful.
I suggest you brace yourselves. We're about to arrive, and the vessel will shake a good bit.
Hold on. Uh-oh.
What is this? Something is... interfering with the equipment. Greetings.
Meteon. It's been a while. Do we get a line?
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Meteon.
So this is Meteon.
Oh. Have you met one of my sisters? I don't remember meeting you myself. But I do know that you're from Atheris. Why have you come? All you had to do was wait. I would have delivered to you your ends.
We didn't ask for that.
I don't understand. All life is destined to end. Why choose to prolong your suffering? Effort, ambition, love, they amount to naught. Happiness, should you find it, is inevitably lost, stolen away by events beyond your control. There is no logic nor meaning in it. You think there is. Convince yourselves. But it's all a cruel accident. Come now. I speak the truth. A truth you would recognize if you looked up at the night sky. Unbroken emptiness. Cold, dark, and silent. Your world, like every other, is but a blemish upon its perfect fabric. Life is an anomaly. It is unnatural and cannot continue. The sooner you accept this,
the easier it will be.
Just to be clear, we're not here to argue with you. We know that life is fleeting, and that in the short time we have it, we're not assured happiness.
Indeed. I've seen far more sorrow in the eyes of many I've met. I myself have plenty of regrets. And one day they'll die with me. Gone to dust with my good deeds and unfulfilled dreams.
But we accept this. That our existence may seem pointless. That sorrow, rage, and despair will always dog our heels. And we press on regardless. That is why Hydaelyn guided us here. In her boundless love for mankind, she has prepared us for this trial, and in her name, we have come for you.
Yes, I sense it. A burning passion like unto fury. I know it well. For the same passion once burned in many a star before yours. Suffocated and extinguished now.
Uh-oh.
Systems offline.
Oh, there goes life support.
I can't breathe.
You approach the bounds of my ultimate, where emotions dictate reality, where resignation and acceptance unite to embrace the end.
Rah!
Where those who yet valiantly cling to life can thrive.
Go on, Thancred. Fall your bloody bucket, guide his blade. Status report.
By the Fury.
Thancred?
Thancred?
Meteon has gone as well. Mayhap he awakened first and gave chase.
Everyone? It appears we are at our destination.
Understood.
This is Ultima Thule.
Not that we knew what to expect, but I wasn't expecting this. From atmospheric composition to ambient temperatures, all reading to within permissible range. This place is capable of supporting life.
If that's the case, then Thancred may well have gone on ahead. Let's go and have a look. Meanwhile, I want the rest of you to perform a full inspection of the ship, as well as a biological scan.
So it was that the brave wayfarers arrived at last at Dream's End. In following their path walked and history written, I am made keenly aware of one truth. Though the curtains may fall again and again, so long as others take the stage, ever shall there be more tales to tell. So, let them bring it to a close, I say. Let the curtains fall upon this, the final chapter in the tale of the star.
Sea of Stars.
Ultima Fool.
Is this a dead star?
As I live and breathe, I live and breathe. Well, the environment itself shouldn't kill us.
Well then, let us search for Thancred while exploring the area. The ship we leave in your care.
Well. Hey, an Alagon provisions node. Battlecraft gear. Of course, that is all up to how it's supposed to be. Raha? If Meteon should strike again with such overwhelming force, I honestly don't know how we are to oppose her. We were clearly no match for Meteon, yet we survived unscathed. But how? It's as Living Way said. I can breathe well enough, but something about this place feels wrong. It's so dark. I can barely see anything. Didst thou witness what became of Thancred? So quickly was I overcome by Meteon's malevolence that I saw naught of the altercation. There is a dizzying, disorienting feeling about this place, as if I could lose my footing at any moment. We must be careful. Living Way? I can't guarantee it will be of help in these strange surrounds, but I've readied a provisions note in case of emergency. Of course, you may, if you encounter any real danger here, I expect you to return to the Ragnarok at once. Don't hesitate to make the most of the provisions note. There's no telling what you might run into out there, or if anything we have to offer might help. But I'd personally rather brave the unknown with a full pack than an empty one. Alphino? Try as he might, Alphino can find no sign of Thancred. We're fortunate this place can support life, albeit barely. I suspect, given the torpid still quality of the air. But never mind that. We must find Thancred. Let's begin our search from the prow of the ship. It seems as good a direction as any. Try not to stray too far, lest we lose sight of one another. On Delta Octo, Deca Octo. Dragons. Dragons! Some petrified into stone. Some still very much alive.
Nope. Okay, there's one change I am going to do. Legacy type movement. Finally activating that. Alice. It seems no one else in this no one else in this barren waste, do you? Then why do I feel like we're not alone? Like there's another presence with us, something dark and mournful. Move down, Jay. These remains have long since turned to ash, and yet they retain their form. Raha? What was this, I wonder? There's a structure here in front of me, yes? A tower of some sort, partially melted? In a strange twist of fate, it seems our perception of this place is not so different as it would be elsewhere. The world as I used to see it, it feels as though I'm dreaming while awake. It's more than the faded memory Meteon led us to believe. Alfie, no! Ruins. But of what, I wonder? Perhaps we can find something to help us understand the nature of this place. A relic, an inscription, anything. The metallic pillar has been partially melted, like some time in the distant past. The damage does not appear to have been inflicted deliberately. Rather, it caused the mind the indiscriminate destruction often wrought in the heat of battle. Raha? Look here. This part is relatively intact. The intricate design of the top suggested it is man-made, though its builders were surely not men as we conceive of them. Having said that, I swear I've seen this pattern before. Oh, that's where Astinian went. Rule number 1 of Dragoons. Look for the highest point. I thought this hill might afford a better view of our surroundings. A poor decision in hindsight. Besides the light from the ship, all is shrouded in darkness. If Fankred is here, I'd never know it. From what I can tell, we are near the edge of an island, if you can call it that, surrounded by floating debris. I instantly shred them. Were you able to find anything? Not a thing. As I feared. And still no trace of Fankred. there's nothing but emptiness as far as the eye can see, which, unfortunately, isn't very far. Look, now I can't help but suspect that someone, or something, is here. There are times when I sense it drawing close, and then a chill washes over me, leaving me exhausted, leaving me with feelings of death and anguish. I felt it too when I was near that thing. What are you talking about? There's nothing there. You don't see him? Before we jump to any conclusions, perhaps we should search elsewhere. Agreed. We've only found more questions when we are in desperate need of answers. There's a fair stretch of terrain from the ship's port side we've yet to explore. Now let's try searching there then. Kinesi, a word before we join the others. Oh, Estinian wants a word. Probably regarding the dragon-shaped object in the room. I'm at the edge of space. Ultimate fool. You see them too, don't you? The dragons. As I thought, their presence is tenuous at best, but there's no mistaking it. No doubt your bond with Midgardsormr and mine with Nidhogg is what allows us to perceive them. Could these apparitions be related to dragons that now live on Ephirus? Bah, better to leave such conjecture to the others. In any case, we must be careful. We may soon find dragons they can see as well. Death and anguish. What happened to them, I wonder? Yep, dragon ghosts. My sight may have been restored after a fashion, but I fear what I see cannot be trusted. It's as if Meteon herself has etched these images upon my heart. I doubt not that such a feat is within her power, given that she constructed this sanctuary herself. Look there! Are those ghosts, do you think? Surely mine eyes deceived me. This cannot be possible. Dragons. 'Tis true they are not of our world, but to find them in a prison of despair. It seems these dragons have yet to succumb completely to the darkness of this place. Meaning the others should see them as well.
dragons. Here.
What you see is a memory of a world that once was. A world suffering a slow death, whose denizens cried out for the release of oblivion.
What? Their world is dead?
It is. Not a single life remains upon that husk floating in the vast emptiness. These creatures are shadow in shade, perpetuated only to suffuse dynamis with their unending lamentations.
Our friend Thancred, where is he?
A strange question. He is at your side, is he not? Oh yes. He is here and there, and everywhere within this space. He would tell you himself if he had form to form words.
Well, I thought we said...
Such loathing and uncertainty. You don't know why you still exist.
Well...
In like manner to the oblivion I send, I tried to drown out your ether with dynamis. Beginning with this Thancred, who came at me despite being unable to breathe. Such a simple thing, unmaking men. In the blinking of an eye, he was gone. Didn't even have the chance to be transformed. Yet somehow, he managed to leave a slither of himself behind. What you call the heart? Or perhaps the soul. In his final moment, he cried out from it. A single word. Survive. That wish proved stronger than the despair that ruled here. It overpowered it, causing this space to be remade. Into a place you can perceive, and where life can endure. That you draw breath is proof that his soul lives on. For how long, however, remains to be seen.
Well then, we should hurry and tend to business.
Clever. Very clever.
It's futile. You will never reach the true me. I told you, emotions dictate reality in this space. Such changes as you might work will not alter its nature. You may see, but you cannot touch. Walk, but not advance.
Meteion holds too much sway here. How do we contend with a foe who can unmake us on a whim?
I do not know. But Thancred gave his life that we might come this far. We must press on.
Agreed. We cannot turn tail here. Not without something to show for our comrade's sacrifice.
Oh. Food for thought. His will was strong enough to reshape Ultimate Foe that we might survive. That I might see again, his sacrifice must not be wasted. See again, his sacrifice must not be wasted. I understand now why the Loppers were surprised to find that this environment could sustain life. there but for Fankred's sacrifice. It's hard to believe Fankred was able to overcome Meteon's will. And yet here we are. Would that the price for his victory had not been so high. My aim was true. I had her. How are we to defeat an enemy we can't attack? He can't really be gone, can he? Meteon herself said his soul persists, and that he is the reason we are still breathing. If so, then maybe. On burdened wings, despite Meteon's words, Urianger cannot help. Urianger cannot accept his comrade is gone. With a soul without body, a form of being with which we are not wholly unfamiliar. Indeed, for we existed in a similar state when residing in the first. The circumstances are rather more dire than that, 'tis true, but I choose to believe he is not forever lost to us. Regardless, in sacrifice he have afforded us a chance to prevail. Let us not squander it, and ascertain the nature of this realm that we might confront and defeat Meteon. Estinian, Knezi, would you accompany me in speaking with these dragons? Mayhap they can enlighten us. I would ask that the rest of you survey these surrounds. If there is a path that may lead us to our quarry, we must find it. Very well, we can reconvene here when everyone has finished. Meteon said these dragons are shadow and shade from a world whose denizens sought oblivion. As such, they're not like to be amenable to company, let alone conversation. Please, be careful. Did Mitty drop off more? Let us split up and gather what knowledge we may. Thou art unlike the others. This place ill befits thee. Do not tarry over long. That's the info NPC. Why do I always make it a habit to just a visitor, not of this star? Could thy slender hands bring plague to our world? Thy breath extinguish life's feeble flame. Oh, how we would adore thee, alas. With time our flesh shall wither, our souls fade, and so we wait for its inexorable march unto oblivion. If thou art not come to hasten our demise, I bid thee leave us. We crave not companionship, only silence. I pray thee leave us to our silence. To break it serves only to mark time's passage. We should not suffer reminders of its flow. These poor dragons. They are completely lost. To dwell on the past yieldeth naught. Our desires meant little to our destiny, and less now. Yet regrets find me nevertheless. Beyond that distant veil, paradise lost, so glorious, so beautiful. We were a proud and noble race, strength embodied. We knew only love, before day came. Metal monstrosities of black and silver, no bonds of blood did they share, nor conviction did they have to guide them. A crushing defeat. Never have we known such shame. Stilled now are the winds, though none could fill these wings burdened by ignominy. We fly no more, only sink into oblivion. Ere the Mato cave, my kin were many and splendid. Elegant worms like unto ripples on the water, worms possessed of limbs so powerful as to rend the land in twain. Worms I have long since forgotten, faces lost to the tides of time. Olale, drink not of this spring. Tainted are its waters, and thy dainty form hath not the capacity to withstand it. Way fish. Way fish. Thou wouldst bid me speak. Folly. I observe the lesson of stone. I shall not fly, nor speak, nor roar, only watch and wait and end. But one sight yet stirreth my blood, tempteth me to raise my voice in lamentation. Norn, the cradle of unsung dragons. No words, no songs are possessed of the weight to describe such tragedy. Go, if that be thy will, I shall remain. Ostrakon doesn't take off. Hey, it's a level checker. Eggs. Estinian? They led you here as well, did they? It was described to me as the source of their woes and proof of their end. I think I'm beginning to see why. It's a hatching ground, or was. I've seen similar on Epheris. Midgardsormr's kind once lived and thrived in a place such as this. Vritra said his father was driven from their ancestral home by war and strife. This, then, is the fate of those who remained. Let's have a look around. Maybe these eggs have more to tell of what happened here. Gingerly lifting a large egg from the viscous mire. You peer inside and see a formless mass soaking in a pool of embryonic fluid. Your stomach turns as you return the egg to its resting place. A murky liquid is pooled inside this eggshell. The noxious feat is indicative of contamination. A shattered dragon egg. Inside the shattered egg, you find the remains of an unborn dragon. Its body has already begun to decompose. The gelatinous, half-dried membrane covering the corpse suggests it's failed to emerge. This egg appears to have been broken from the inside out. Perhaps the dragonette within succeeded in hatching. What's this? What's this? I thought all the eggs had been ruined. If the dragonette was indeed hatched, there's no sign of it here, or its sire for that matter. We should look for them. We'll start with the cliff tops and I'll search the plains. Wyverns. There it is. Gurgle. A bereaved dragon. The boisterous howling have been quieted. By thy hand, I presume. Everything all right? Thought I heard a dragon or something resembling one. Yeah, it was over here. Ah, I see what's happened here. Was that your child? Perhaps. Some eggs within Omnol are indeed mine. If life within one did quicken, the beast thou hast slain may be one of my blood. Yet I do not recognize it, twisted and malformed as it is. The dragon in truth but a reminder of our failure, a testament to our shame. Explain. They descended from the heavens, cold, heartless machines, and with them rode war and death. With fire and fury, rage and rancor, we gave answer. 'Twas a long and bloody battle, but only the beginning. Untold chaos and destruction swept over the star. In the end, the invaders were victorious. Yet when they looked upon their prize, they deemed it unfit for requisition. Yet we were abandoned to our ruin. The survivors sought to put away their shame, to rebuild, a futile effort. In purest soil replete with ether did we once cultivate our nesting grounds. But our lands were barren, and any eggs nurtured in such desolation were fated to rot. What few survive hatch emerge as abominations. We shall have no new progeny. But there are dragons among you capable of journeying to other stars. That there are. Many would make the attempt, each bearing a clutch of eggs. The richest stars were home to the harshest rulers, and the arrival of dragons incited contests for supremacy. When the fires faded, the wars won and lost and won. They too were reduced to ash and waste. 'Tis the curse of those who seek life, to be drawn into conflict, to conquer or be conquered. A vicious cycle we now choose to break. We tire of conflict, of everything. We wait now in sweet, merciful silence. Free from strife and suffering, still as stone. Wait, you claim your kind is doomed, but there is another star. They don't know Midgard Sommer made it. A test of will. But first, I'll run ads. $295 northeast. It's over there. Sort. Wow, a dynamis crystal. And so we run over ends. There! That must be where Meteon is. A swirling vortex of despair. Alright, here we go. Estinian, how about a test of will? They want only to brood in silence, to be left alone with their grief until time itself comes to an end. The sole reward for senseless bloodshed. A pain I understand, and I wish that I did not. What fools we were. But now isn't the time for such thoughts. The others will want to hear what we've learned. Come. Were you able to establish any meaningful contact with the dragons? Yes, we did. Well, kind of. I see. They wish to escape what they perceive to be a cycle of conflict. Thank you, Knezi, Estinian. As for our part, I believe we are more than acutely aware of our confines than before. We started by traversing the perimeter of the island to see if there might be a path leading off of it. Sadly, there was nothing to be found. There's no small amount of debris floating about. Could it be enough to serve as a bridge to lead us elsewhere? I considered that, so I tried throwing a stone onto a potential platform to judge its integrity. It never reached its mark. As it crossed an invisible threshold just beyond the boundaries of this island, it vanished, only to reappear above me and fall at my feet. It would not be difficult to presume that was what we see outside this space as it appears. Which is why I returned to Ragnarok and asked the Loporits to search for a potential path. However, the ship's instruments failed to provide conclusive data on the surrounding area. Until we know more, I think it too risky to attempt flying to another island. What Meteon told us before, that emotions dictate reality here. Might be the key, but I'm not entirely sure what emotion might manifest a bridge and lead us to safety. Hope. So what you're saying is we've no way forward. At present, aye, but if it is indeed emotion that governs this island, perhaps it is not Meteons. The dragons that hold us here. They tire of conflict and have chosen a path of oblivion to escape it. Rather, they have chosen no path at all. Meaning there's no way for the dragons nor anyone here on this island to advance. A sound theory, disheartening though it may be. If that's the case, what recourse do we have? They are not like to be persuaded to help us. Their reasoning is built on a history of turmoil and strife. Without irrefutable proof, the future is not as bleak as they believe it to be. Mayhap persuasion is not the answer. Meteon meant to unmake us then and there on the Ragnarok, and she would have succeeded if not for Thancred's determination. She conceded and was strong enough to overpower the despair that otherwise rules Ultima Form, and reshape it to a degree. Perhaps it can be done again in like manner by overpowering the prevailing emotions. 'Twas Ultima Fool's architect, Meteon herself, against whom Thancred did pit himself in a clash of wills. Though I marked no leader among them, as such, I did chance to encounter a dragon possessed of despair far more potent than most. Potent enough, mayhap, to dictate the course for others, and thus their domain to follow. He spoke but few words carefully chosen, their tone and timbre alone threatening to rend my heart in twain. Challenging his desire to remain may allow us to alter the island upon which we stand. Alas, I fear my vaunted rhetoric availed me naught against his calcifying heart. But mayhap one of you will fare better. I shall guide thee. I'll end the call him. In the dragon tongue, thou wilt find him nearby, eyes fixed upon the water. What have we to lose? Let's get going. Don't drink the water. It's poison. Come on, let... Look at this. There. There we go. It's quiet. Too quiet.
He remaineth as he was when I first approached. Entombed in melancholy.
I see. Perhaps I could...
I'll handle this.
Ah, of course.
So, waiting to die like all the others, are you?
Aye. Our pride is crushed, our souls corrupted. The winds are stilled, and the heavens offer no comfort. nothing left for our kind. Our long lives a curse as we await the end. Still as stone shall we become. We shall become.
So you say. Yet your kind has found a new beginning on our star. One of you braved the Expanse, bearing with him a clutch of eggs. They and their children now rule our skies, their song heard by all.
Our kin on another star. And yet, upon thee do I smell the blood of my brethren. Were they drawn into discord and war on their new home?
They were. They suffered much, and repaid their suffering in kind.
It mattereth not whither we fly. Ever will a sanguine ocean await us. Ever will retribution's wheel turn. So on the last of my pride as a dragon, I break free of this wheel. I renounce conflict, exile myself from the other, and never again be touched by the flames of hatred.
Had your brethren made the selfsame choice, my family might still be alive. Yet lasting peace does not come to those who simply retreat from conflict. No, you must be willing to confront it, to stare into the face of your foe, and see yourself in him. Only then can you break the cycle of torment and tragedy. This lesson, a dear friend taught me at the risk of his life. There is no nobility in your penance. You wallow in self-pity. And after everything we've endured, we will not let you stop us.
Estinian!
Stay back!
We tire of war. We tire of turmoil. Dignity tarnished, crimson stained. Our misery, our shame, too much to bear. Release us from war, from life.
I see. Theirs is the emotion that bars our way. The rest is up to you.
Estinian! Did Estinian?
No! Not Estinian too!
Oh!
There's a wind.
It's given us the wind.
He's opened the way for us. Sacrificed himself to remake this place, like Thancred did.
Don't cry, Alphino.
Oh, Alphino.
Alphino.
Come. Let us follow the wind. It will not lead us astray. He would not.
Mm-hmm. Marshall. Come as you are. Oh, there's a lookout. No second deco. This sector is a recreation of the 18th civilization encountered by Meteon and her sisters. Ruined and desolate, the world it represents was once an abode of a proud race of dragons who were driven to extinction in a titanic struggle against mechanical invaders from the Alphatron star. Wait. Wait. You stole her. Must this always be the price paid for safe passage? If I had known this place would claim Mystinian too, why... No, it's what had to be done. As by the beating of mighty wings doth wind blow, where dragons may ne'er again touch the sky, he and the shade he bore shall soar free. And the wind has stayed the fog that covered this island. The air, it no longer feels quite so stifling. Look there, the wind. This is Estinian's doing. I'm sure of it. We should ride its flow and see where it leads. Onwards! Whee! Legs shattered. A powerful gale has delivered you to another island. The other scions should appear before long. Wow, they're out of render distance. Well, that was fun. He did it. He found a way forward for us. The dragons remain trapped within a prison of their own making, lamenting the horrors of war. Yet Estinian knew them better than most. He was a man of honor and a dear friend, willing to fight to the very end for what he believed was right. And he's still fighting Alphino, just like Thancred. His sacrifices are why we can survive here. Why we still have a chance to stop her. Even in spirit, they are unwilling to give in to despair. And we mustn't either. Alize is right. We must press on, for their sake. We have no choice, have we, but to march onward, lest we squander their noble sacrifices. To feign bravery with bold words is a simple matter, but without the strength of will to match, we are powerless against Dynamis. Not less an unshakable conviction will suffice, which makes me question if I'm up to the task. Though it pains me to say it, we can ill afford to stop and grieve our comrades' passing. No, there will be time enough after. We have to keep going. Even if Estinian isn't here to see it, I'm sure Alphino wouldn't want to disappoint him. Roads paved in sacrifice. Alphino has regained his composure and is ready to proceed. As Yostola and Alize said, we must continue. Notice a change in our surroundings. Perhaps this is the memory of an altogether different world. It would be prudent to learn more of it. Then, tread carefully lest we lose our footing in this sand. In the dust. Oh, Alize? Sand. Sand everywhere. Ah. If not for the light emitted by these glyphs, I might well have overlooked this monolith. If you are worried about my vision, you needn't be. I can still see quite well. Another seemingly barren world. For a mercy, the air is nowhere near as stale, but still quite dry, and the sand will no doubt prove bothersome in due time. Were it not for the violet crystal embedded in its surface, it would appear as ordinary stone. A curious script have been etched upon them. Alas, it is not a language with which I am familiar. I cannot say I recognize it either. Nor I. The dragons, from what I recall, preserved their knowledge in song and eschewed a written word entirely. So we may assume this is the work of another race. One we have yet to encounter. Meteon claimed the dragons' world suffered a slow death, seeking the release of oblivion. What life we find here likes not doth wend its way towards a similar end. Alize? What do you suppose that is over there? I'm not sure, but it's hard to make out at this distance, but its surface seems to bear the same crystals as this monument. Meaning there is a chance we may find whoever built them both. We should go and have a look. Come on. Another one. Follow the flesh. Drifting ear. What is this? What are these? A ghostly figure. Hail, travelers. This is a most unexpected occurrence. Hello there. Is this your home? Indeed it is. Forgive me, I'd forgotten. An exchange of introductions is expected when first meeting those with whom one is unacquainted. when the vibration of vocal folds was still required to convey our thoughts and intention. Ia, I believe, was the pronunciation used when referring to our people, though it is not entirely applicable given our present state. You are welcome to use this appellation. As for the nomenclature to address my individual person, I believe it was pronounced Kovkud. Yes, Kovkud, it's the ear. We have encountered beings that communicate intermittently through thought, but never one that is wholly without voice. I presume we are having this conversation via the medium of ether, or dynamis, as this space is confused with vast quantities of it. Fascinating in either case. I gather your response to my presence is positive, then? That is well, for there is something I wish to ask of you. Like yourselves, we Ia are ether-based life forms. Therefore, it may be surmised that your bodies are composed of comparable biological composition to those we once possessed. I have a number of queries regarding your subjective perception of the 5 senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. In total, we have prepared 198,712,180,827. That's rather a lot, isn't it? My apologies. I have omitted a great many details necessary to understand the nature of my request. Though we dispensed with our corporeal vessels long ago, we have rediscovered a need for the flesh, and have endeavored to recreate our erstwhile forms. However, all pertinent records have been lost due to the passage of time. Take, for example, the nervous system. It is well within our power to recreate, but we have no frame of reference for sensations once experienced by our people, which may compromise our ability to interact with our physical environment. And the reason you need to regain corporeal forms? Why, to bring it into our existence, of course. Though need is perhaps too strong a word. It would be a simple matter to unmake ourselves through use of etheric exsanguinator, but such a death seems inadequate. The traditionalists among us believe proper death requires an inescapable sense of impermanence in one's final moments, an experience found only with bodies of flesh. We would very much like to hear more of your plans. In exchange, we will answer any questions you have to the best of our ability. Such an exchange of information would indeed prove useful. Very well. To ensure efficacious exchange, I hereby invite you to our home. Yes, the abode of the Ia, where we traditionalists prepare for our demise. I presume you consent to answer questions. Your consent to answer questions is indicative of a tacit approval of our plans, in which case your cooperation is greatly appreciated. I must caution you, however, to be mindful of the Ia wandering the desert. Their desire for bodies of flesh could be described as overzealous. Now, if you would follow me. It's going rather smoothly. Not an uncomplaining mind. Even so, we mustn't forget their aim is oblivion, much like the dragons. Now, I fail to see why a civilization so seemingly advanced would choose to unmake all they have created. At any rate, we will find no answers dallying here. Let us be on our way. Stracontria. There. Luminion. Huh. That is a most unusual. Alize? They said there would be others, but I don't know what I was expecting. Something tells me we have different definitions of the word abode. The Isle of Dragons was shrouded in the silence of the dead. Yet the stillness of here doth suggest the ear are, by and large, merely sleeping. More violet-colored crystals. I cannot place my finger on it, but there's something unsettling about them. I should not be surprised their concept of a village is so different from ours. And yet... Welcome to our abode. Most of our compeers, you will find, remain idle in their domiciles. Though your critical expressions indicate my phrasing is unclear. I speak, of course, of the violet crystalline structures from the stones hanging from the stone structures here. You say they remain idle, but what if you all work to regain corporeal bodies? An astute question, and understandable given your finite nature. We have no desire to pursue our research, for it is no longer necessary. If, in our idleness, we are struck by sudden inspiration, we rise to pursue said inspiration to its conclusion. Well, that is why I was present for your arrival, and why I continue to engage with you still. But while the others are not currently in a motile state, rest assured they would not object were you to disturb their respite. Need only cast your thoughts towards one of their crystalline domiciles to communicate. I suppose there is a logic to creatures comprised of spiritual energy utilizing crystals as living spaces. But it is nevertheless surprising to see. Attuning? You cast your thoughts towards the crystalline domicile, but there is no response. Knock, knock. You wish to speak? Very well. Pray, a moment if you would. Use the Aephorite. $70. How much does it... Wow. I tried reaching out to whatever is inside this crystal, but all I can hear is sporadic moaning. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, look, there's an ether current. Isn't it strange they lack passion to research, that which they desire above all else? If we are fortunate, the ear residing in these crystals will shed light on this contradiction. Water. Yay, your current. $523 southwest, which is somewhere around here. But where, pray tell, are the rest of our comrades? Alesia. There's Urianje. I already spoke with Alfino and Alize, so now I have just Urianje and Brahatia to interrogate. Despite my best efforts, mine overtures have elicited no response from this crystal. I can but assume its residents sleepeth most soundly. Or so I hope. If I heard correctly, the ear within this crystal says it will emerge from within shortly. Do you suppose the Elder's Cook knows? The strange moaning comes and goes, but soon fades into silence. Oh. Why we seek our end, you ask? If you wish to know, I will tell you. Just a moment, I must remember, what form did I take when last I emerged? Let me check. Did I have a dialogue with Alfino? Yes. Yes, I did. Oh, good. Did your inquiries yield satisfactory responses? Actually, they didn't even... I see. If they failed to answer, then it's likely because their minds have unraveled due to prolonged idleness. They are not but concentrated ether now. Worry not, there are no others who have need of those lodgings, and they will not provide a hindrance to remain as they are. More importantly, you said some few did answer your request for an audience, yes? I imagine they will be with us ere long. Flesh of bread. I had no luck, but everyone else fared well enough. Quite a few Ia have awakened. Ah, here they are. There they are. Oh, and look identical. May I introduce you to Lala, Judik, and Nidik? Hello. It's been too long, Cook. There's a side of forest since completed an orbit. Indeed, until the travelers brought it to my attention, I hadn't noticed how unraveled some had become. Travelers? Ah, of course. They, the ones who wish to know why we seek to regain corporeal forms. The truth of the matter is as plain to see as the neighboring systems, but my single account would fail to satisfy the requirements for scientific objectivity. Thus I bid them awaken you. Am I the only one who struggles to tell who is speaking? Nay, thou art not, in the absence of corporeal forms and the divergence they afford. Mayhap such similarity in voice is unavoidable. By the way, Kofkub, have you already observed the requisite custom from the travelers? That which one is expected to do when receiving guests. A matter of proper form. Ah, yes. So long has it been, it had completely escaped my mind. And it still does. What is it again? I can't seem to remember. Neither do I. Pity. I was hoping you would. Perhaps we can search the archives for the answer. Come now, Nini. The archives have long been frozen lest we subject ourselves to further dollar. Surely you can certainly recall that much. Of course. Food! Food! The custom is to serve food. Beings of flesh such as they must regularly replenish their ether. By contributing to their replenishment, we communicate with our friendly intention. That's right, that's right! We duly invite you to join us in communal repast, after which we may engage in leisurely conversation. If we have a chance to learn something, then I see no reason to decline. Excellent! If you would care to follow, we shall feast on you on the purest ether. Something that is sorely lacking in this place, I think. And we have you here. Oh, we're standing in a circle. If it is as I suspect, then this so-called feast, actually let us just see it for ourselves. Fear not, we are not like to come to harm. If they are thus able to replenish their ether, the loss of vital sustenance isn't like to be the cause of their demise. Ether, they said, but I can't help but feel a bit nervous. Judging by the construction of this facility, it would seem the ear directly draw upon the ether. We were told to stand wherever we like, but this strikes me less of a meal and more of a ritual. Technically speaking, you see, I haven't spoken to anyone in such a very, very long time. Anyhow, what does you need? Oh. I always make it I somehow always manage to find the info NPC first. It's a thing that I had forgotten what had become of the archives. How much has my essence deteriorated since I was last awake? Not that I'm averse to having my mind fade away in this manner. It isn't so unlike the natural degradation of one's flesh. How delightful. Throughout the universe, but few races have completely shed their flesh as we have. As a result, we seldom receive visitors from other systems. Extreme differences can inhabit meaningful interaction, you see. And none more so than those which affect communication. Most entities, for example, cannot even comprehend our words. You are rare in your ability to do so. So these rarely replenish our ether. There is no particular name for it, but we traditionalists sometimes use the word restaurant. Now then, would you take your place with your comrades? The space will soon be awash with purest ether. Please absorb as much as you'd like. Are we certain this is a good idea? You brace yourself for a rush of sweet, sweet ether, but nothing seems to happen. Perhaps you'll need to wait a while longer. You brace yourself again, but again, nothing seems to happen. It's just as I suspected. As meticulously as one might recreate the Ear's homeworld, this is ultimate fool. One cannot simply generate ether here. After recreations, our friends are oblivious to this fact. To the very truth of their existence, much like the phantoms of recreated Amarot. However appearances may seem, we must ever be mindful that it is the memories of the dead with whom we deal. Uh-oh. So did you have your fill of ether? Alas, we couldn't absorb it. Deficiency in our forms, it would seem. How very unfortunate. Might I ask how you normally replenish your ether? Actually, we use solid food, drinks, that sort of stuff. Through your mouths, you say? How very primitive and quaint. To think their mouths serve not only to expel sound, but draw in sustenance besides. Such life forms have long since vanished from our systems. Though we regretted simply could not partake of your magnificent feast. Rest assured you're welcome. We feel you're welcome most keenly. In the course of acquainting ourselves with your sophisticated ways, we could not fail but wonder, wherefore do you wish to obtain vessels of flesh, and thence to vanish? Will you not favor us with an explanation? You flesh and blood beings are always so hasty. It does have its charm, however. Very well, we shall indulge you. In the beginning, when the Ea yet possessed corporeal bodies, our ancestors dedicated themselves to the pursuit of knowledge and technological advancement. By transcending all limitations, we believe we would eliminate sorrow and abide in true happiness. From the tangible such as land to the intangible such as labor, there exist myriad hindrances to progress, but the most confining of all was the flesh itself. Our natural lifespan was distressingly middling, you see. Too short to enjoy unhurried lives, yet too long to be considered disposable. Furthermore, to simply maintain the integrity of our bodies demanded considerable resources. But we managed to solve this problem. After long years, we discovered how to become non-corporeal entities with everlasting lives, untroubled by the failures of the flesh. Thus changed, we had more time and freedom to continue our scientific pursuits. We went on to make even greater strides in our quest to transcend all limitations, until we finally decided to challenge the last of them all, the limit of knowledge. That is to say, deciphering the laws of creation. We sought to discover how the universe came into being, and explain all extant phenomena, and thence predict the future. If we could but achieve this, we believed that we would be free from uncertainty and anxiety. And did you find the answers you sought? Yes, we did. Our efforts revealed to us a fundamental truth. Knowledge of said truth is essential for the continuation of our conversation. If you would learn more, we will share it with you. No, we mustn't. Primitive as they are, it would be unspeakably cruel to deprive them of their ignorance. They are possessed of corporeal forms, their lives readily ended. As those who have gone before, is it not our duty to warn them? What thinkest thou? We have deliberated and come to a consensus. If you are resolved to know it, we will disclose to you the truth we discovered, the truth of the universe. Seek us at the stone pillars just outside the bounds of the abode, a place called Elegia. Yushtola, a fundamental truth. We will hear it, of course. Let us learn what has led such an enlightened people to this indolent end. Tis true that a lack of knowledge can beget fear. Therefore, in theory, by acquiring all knowledge, it may be possible to attain peace. But as Heidelin told us, all those peoples who attempted to free their worlds from life's woes met with failure, and the Ea are among them, as their presence here indicates. The tale we are about to hear will not be a happy one. You may be intimately familiar with a problem, know it like the back of your hand, yet be powerless to solve it. In the course of my struggles, I have often been made keenly aware of this fact. I wonder, have the Ea never felt the same frustration? Before we hear the climax of the Ea's tale, mayhap I should speak of... second thought would only be a distraction. We will talk more when the time is right. To define the laws of creation would have been no small feat, even for the Ea. Nay, having eternal life and hence no sense of haste would only make it harder. It made it harder. Such tremendous drive for knowledge they once must have had, and struggled to reconcile with being the listless beings I struggled to reconcile the listless beings before us. What answers they found, it did not bring them happiness. Where knowledge leads, something seems to be weighing on Urianje's mind. Ere we join the Ea, there's one trifling matter I would fain investigate. Knezi, Grahatia, might I trouble you for your assistance? But of course. My thanks. We shall head outside the abode. If you would kindly follow me. I know not what mischief you are plotting, Urianje, but I trust you have our best interests at heart. The rest of us shall go on ahead to Elegia. Lest you worry, we won't start without you. I don't like the way the Luminium looks. What's here? Urianje! A spring, and a sizable one at that. I hadn't noticed it amid the dunes. Aye, this place shall serve. Is it the spring that you wish to investigate? Pray forgive me, my friends, but there is naught to investigate. 'Twas but a pretense to speak in private. You have our undivided attention. As we have established here in Ultima Thule, those denizens of ruined stars are recreated in their twilight days. Yet one question doth arise in my mind. So faithfully formed are the simulacra, they believe themselves yet amongst the living. How dost thou suppose this is possible? Meteon has taken their hearts upon themselves. I'm inclined to agree. If Meteon can take the emotions of others as her own, I dare say she would be able to recreate them more faithfully than had she relied on any historical account. By which logic, she must have visited them while they still lived. The dragons and the Ea both. So too did I theorize, and upon that assumption, consider how those two races may have met their demise. According to thine own tale, Meteon perceived the emotions of those nearby as her own. A heightened sense of empathy intrinsic to her nature as an enteleki. In the course of her starfaring journey, if she encountered beings who strongly desired the cessation of their existence, she would be powerless before that desire. Even as she possesses the power to grant it, the power of Dynamis. 'Tis my supposition that, overwhelmed by their longing for death, Meteon did unleash Dynamis and ushered the dragons and the Ea unto their doom. Of course, such was not always the outcome. Full many stars did she find already lost to ruin. In order to create a terminus, however, the fervent desire for the end is essential. Therefore, would you struggle to find a way forward? Pray ask yourselves this. In the place where you stand, whose is the soul that yearneth most desperately for oblivion? Why do you tell us this now? Ne'er again would I betray your trust. This pledge I did make to my comrades. In bringing thee into my confidence, I would remain true to my word. Rianjay! As for thee, let us consider it my fitting reward for the secrets I harbored for the Crystal Exarch. I once placed my faith in thy chosen path, walking at thy side full knowing that we were bound for their demise. I ask now that thou returnest the favor, and abide in faith as I fulfill mine own destiny. If you say my debt has come due, how am I to refuse? "'Tis indelicate of me, I know full well, but I can but beg thy forgiveness. Yet even if I must needs go to such lengths, I cannot well feign ignorance of the answer I have found within. The answer to the question, in what moment might I stand strongest? After all we've been through, I will say only this. Do what you must. Do what you must and see your conviction through. I shall, my friend. I shall. Without further ado, let us go join our comrades. Let us be off to Elagia. Ostrocontria. Oh. Perfect! of them. Most of them are non-interactive. This must be Energia. Dialogue time. Oh, you are here already. Your comrade said you would be late. We have prepared for our recounting. To facilitate comprehension, the information will be simplified to match your primitive minds. Your companion in front, the one called Y'shtola. She seems the keenest to learn the truth. I pity her. It would seem your star too has been plunged into a panic-induced cataclysm. We hope that our tale will not serve to exacerbate it. Don't mind me. I understand you've taken care of business. If you're ready to begin, then so are we. While we waited, we mentioned our star's situation to the Ia. They nodded sagely, or something to that effect. Come, let us hear the Ia's tale, and learn what caused such enlightened beings to crave nihility. It seems everyone is accounted for. Shall we then? I'm gonna hit the...
Please continue. Tell us about this truth you discovered.
Very well. Bear in mind, however, that the purpose of this conversation is not to impart scholarly knowledge, for such requires that you comprehend the subject matter, which you will not. We will forego the intricacies of our scientific methodology and deal only with the conclusion, the end of our society and our world. We acknowledge, with regret, that your star is in the midst of the same panic-induced cataclysm that befell Denet 3. As such, in order to avoid causing undue distress, we will refrain from explicitly stating how much time you have remaining.
You are entirely too kind. I pray you recount your tale as you see fit.
In the beginning, the universe was but a tiny particle. Then suddenly, this particle began to expand.
The Big Bang.
Having remained entirely in the bounds of your star, the phenomenon may be difficult for your kind to grasp. But this expansion has since continued unabated. Speculating that the universe could not grow indefinitely, we sought to learn what might occur, and made a worrying discovery. The stars will continue to spread apart, as will their finite thermal energies. Eventually, all heavenly bodies will grow cold and freeze. No new stars will be born, and the universe will enter into an eternal ice age.
Heat death.
In hopes of proving that this determination was erroneous, we scrutinized our research from all angles, even as we sought to avert the everlasting winter. The endeavor proved fruitless. So infamously so, in fact, that it became synonymous with vain effort. The universe as we know it would end, and there is no way to prevent it. Beneath the weight of this knowledge, our society stagnated. Though we had time still, it was a cold comfort. Why strive for anything when desolation is assured? When our wealth of wisdom, accumulated since the dawning of our kind, would be forever lost. No civilization would rise from our ashes. No scholar recover our knowledge. In silence unbroken, naught would stir. Intellect was once our pride. Overnight, it became our shame. Our works, monuments to futility. Immortality, our greatest invention, became a source of suffering. Rather than suffer on, many chose to unmake themselves by means of etheric exsanguinators. Etched upon these stones are the testaments of such souls. Though many left no words at all, thinking it a pointless gesture. Once we have obtained vessels of flesh, we likewise intend to vanish. If you understand this, understand aught of our tale, you will abandon your quest for knowledge. Ignorance truly is bliss. If you would cling to your illusory happiness, remain primitive and pure. It is the only way.
So that's your story. While I appreciate your advice, I will not heed it. Convinced though you may be of this truth, it is yours and not mine. Indeed, truth, I have ever believed, is in the eye of the beholder.
Are you suggesting that we have reached a faulty conclusion? That our science failed us?
No, the math is sound, it's just...
Hardly. As you yourself said, the subject matter is beyond my comprehension. And that, I accept, is true. I do not possess the knowledge to prove or disprove your conclusion. In my mortal years, I doubt I could even approach the wisdom of the Aya.
The Aya. There we go.
But of one thing am I absolutely certain. I would not be happier in ignorance.
You stole a no!
You mustn't!
The most important lesson I've learned is that learning isn't simply passing one's eyes over words. Nay, it is when understood for oneself that knowledge attains its true value. This is what has sustained me, driven me onward in joy and wonder, in anger and sorrow. The universe may end, and all may be for naught, but I will live as I always have. I will always seek out new knowledge, and no conclusion of yours, no matter how grim, can dampen my desire.
I suppose it is only to be expected. Their feeble minds cannot fathom the terrifying gravity of it all.
And that's where the...
But worry not. We consider it our duty to enlighten you. And we will not stop until you grasp the full extent of our despair.
Oh. Is that so? Birds. What?
Keep calm and listen well. Though my body will soon dissipate, there may be a way to restore it. Azim's magic. So long as our souls remain, you can use it to summon us back. But you mustn't, for it would mean losing our way forward. This I only reveal so that you can promise not to invoke the magic. We came here knowing what victory may cost, so press on. Press on, and do not look back.
I shall join thee. As subterfuge is not required, thou shalt not suffer for mine absence.
Urianger.
My resolve hath never been as strong as thine. Full oft have I wavered in my decisions, and afterwards been stricken with regret. In spite of this, I may still stand with my comrades, supporting them as they attempt the greatest of feats. This truth I have learned in the course of our journey. And many though my shortcomings may be, I may also claim to excel in prophecies. My studies, into which have granted me the flexibility of mind needed to bend this malleable reality. Thus shall I hope that thou mayest have the strength to resist, and our comrades the strength to continue.
With you to urge us on, how could we possibly fail?
There they are. There they go. Y'shtola. Urianger! Wait, is that a teleporter?
What's this? An extinguished civilization. Rekindled.
Surprise!
That's right. Our quest doesn't end here. We'll press on, and we will find you.
There. That's where you'll find me.
Is that another star?
Of the stars we visited, most were already devoid of life. And where there was life still, the inhabitants wished for death. But even death, we learned, isn't truly the end. It is but a part of the cycle of rebirth. Souls return to the star, or in its absence, a larger flow. And eventually they are reborn. Alive again, to know suffering anew. True salvation lies not in dying. It lies in not being born. This is the gift I would give to you. To all life on beautiful Aetheris. To that end, we created an egg wherein life cannot quicken. That dead sun. Attain it if you can, before your friends' emotions fade away, along with their protection.
I challenge you, Meteon. Ruh-roh. I'm fine, Kinesi. Like I said, our quest doesn't end here. Never have I felt such emptiness. It's as if part of me is gone. Victory. Are you all ready to continue on? Now let us make for where that light's shown. Y'shtola and Urianger have opened the way for us. And now we're down to a light party. So I'm gonna run ads. Some manner of e-device. If our friends awakened it, then it should be safe to use. Judging by the direction, this should be the place. Yes, I can feel it. The ether emanating from the arcane pattern. This is a portal and no mistake. Let us see where it leads. Nyong. Hexy. Wait. This is where Omega is from, I think. Alright, we're back. We're on Omicron Decahexy, and here we go. We are gonna get a fight. Intruder alert. Did I just delete them? Yes. This reminds me way too much of the Omega raids. free. Amazing. Yet another civilization. This reminds me of something. Attacked as soon as you arrived. Not the most welcoming of places, is it? We must try to find denizens who are amenable to conversation. We should also get the lay of the land to see how far we can go. I'll help Alpha know with that. In the meantime, you and Graha can search for friendlier folk. Apart from hostile beings, take care of your footing. I mislike the look of this terrain. Not knowing what the locals are like, you'd best take care of yourselves. We'll find you once we've finished exploring. I expect the twins will seek out the outermost bounds of the Isle, so I propose we search the central area. There are machines patrolling here and there, sentinels in all likelihood. Like those you encountered, they will most certainly attack any who venture too close. So let us avoid them and look for others that appear more approachable. You see naught but patrolling machines in the area. They do not seem inclined to non-violent intercourse. Okay. This is gonna be a fight. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Shutting down. Shutting down. Attuning. And for this zone, I am gonna go ahead and grab. No, not that one. Not this one. I am grabbing. Where is the Omk? There it is. Yo, striking dummies. Greetings. Any requests you have of this unit should be made in clear and concise manner. Human GPS. Additional entity detected. Look, Native, the machines here do not appear hostile. Let's see if we can communicate with them. Begging your pardon. We are searching for the denizens of this star. Unknown life forms detected. Assigning generic label. Interplanetary travelers. Greetings and welcome to the planet. The planet? What? Could you please repeat that? It appears your hearing organ is unable to process the name in our tongue. It may be translated into yours as Alphatron. Meanwhile, our people are called Omicrons, and you stand within one of our outposts. The Omicrons, you say? And what is it you do here? We are preparing for war. As we presently do not have a designated target, you have nothing to fear. Should your star become designated, however, you will be taken into custody and/or terminated. Not a little frightening, these Omicrons, but at least they seem to be forthright. I will see what else I can learn from this fellow. If you could try speaking with the others. We found base Omicron. No repairs required. And autonomous weapon deployment complete. Vanguard armament upgrade complete. Munition levels satisfactory. Combat readiness assessment nominal. Awaiting instructions from Sir. Maintaining state of combat readiness. Measuring combat capability. Result negligible. Subject falls outside the targeting parameters. Greetings, traveler. We are the Omicrons, and our objective is self-enhancement. In order to achieve this, we venture forth in a conquest to acquire combat data and resources. Most recently, we succeeded in subjugating the homeworld of the beings whose strength was said to be without parallel, the dragons. Yet, though the endeavor yielded a wealth of combat data, the star was rendered barren and unable to yield resources. A subsequent costing determined that the losses incurred exceeded the gains. Greetings, traveler. When venturing outside the outpost, beware malfunctioning units. They do not heed Sir's commands and indiscriminately attack all non-Omicrons. For the avoidance of confusion, be advised that Sir is the alias of Stigma 1. Sir issued instructions to our forces as the foremost of the 6 strategic matrices that bear the designation Stigma. You learned a few things, so did I. Ere we share our findings, however, I believe it best to step outside the outpost. Come with me. Ah, there you are! We finished surveying the area. This will come as no surprise, but there was no way forward. There were portals like the one we used to get here, but those that worked only sent us to isolated isles. But as before, we must locate the embodiment of the emotion that bars the way. One of yourselves, did you find anyone to speak with? Yeah, we found the Omicrons. I think they're the ones that subjugated the dragons, and... well, I have encountered one of them before. So the Omicrons seek to advance themselves through conquest. Following their victory over the dragons, they stand ready for the next campaign, but their leader has yet to issue new commands. And so they wait. In such a place, who could it be that fits Uriange's description? A soul whose yearning for oblivion surpasses all others. Uriange said this. During our investigation, before we joined you in Elegia. So that's the way of it. Why couldn't he just say it to all of us? Given what we know of this place, it's certainly a curious state of affairs. While the dragons in the ear long for death, the Omicrons long for conflict. As much as they may lead to destruction, it must be considered a distinct desire. In order to find the source of the dominant emotion, I believe we should seek out their leader, this Sir. According to M032, the first Omicron with whom we spoke, there is a console by which we might communicate with it. MO32 also added that it would be a pointless exercise, but that in itself, I believe, is worth investigating. What say you? I am gonna go ahead and step back inside the settlement. Wait, let me check. There's blues! There's blue quests! Sit. Cheapos. Wait a moment. Hey, it takes a while to catch. And that's the screenshot. That's the thumbnail for Friday's stream. So, I feel like I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it here. There we go. Because tomorrow morning we'll be diving into a story in the past. In our past. For it's time for the coils. The coils of Bahamut. So, time to find someone to raid out to real quick before I